Welcome to CC Writes. My name is CC Lepki, and today I am sharing the 7th part of my story, Guns and Glitter. Before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification button so you'll know when the next part of the story comes out. Late that night, after the festivities ended and the family went back home, Grace lay in bed, wide awake. Her family wouldn't celebrate if they knew what she really did with her time. But they didn't need to know. If she could find another job quickly, this part of her life could be a strange memory, a stepping stone on her path to success. Just a little while longer, and Papa would be home. She could start paying down her student loans and her parents' mortgage. Everything would be perfect. Graciela? In the darkness, Grace saw the outline of Lulu propped up on an elbow on her bed. She hadn't heard her sister move. What? Lulu's slow breathing filled the silence. Grace rolled over to watch her sister more closely. Luisa? You know you can tell me anything, right? Lulu gripped her blanket, wrinkling the fabric around her plump fingers. You don't have to hide things. What do you mean? Goosebumps rose against Grace's skin. You haven't said what it is you're doing at your new job. Grace opened her mouth to argue, but Lulu hushed her. I know I'm not smart like you, Gracie, but I still notice things. Like what kind of business project has you swimming in glitter? And you have such weird work hours. Lulu sat up. I don't know what's going on with you. You don't have to tell me if you really don't want to, but I'm worried. You're not a prostitute, are you? Grace almost choked. No! She sat up in bed. God, Luisa, what would make you think that? You are having such a hard time finding a job. Luisa buried her face in a pillow out of embarrassment. Her plump body blocked most of the light of the moon that streamed in through the window. And you haven't wanted to go to church? You were so desperate to help Papa, I just worried. Grace closed her eyes against the palm of her hand and shook her head. You really have an extreme way of looking at things, you know that? I would never do something like that. Luisa sighed and let herself fall back onto the bed. Oh, thank God. I don't know how to handle stuff like that. You've just been so weird lately. Gee, thanks, Lulu giggled. I'm sorry, mi hermana. Está bien, mi hermanita. Graciela pulled her blankets up over her shoulders and huddled there. Words didn't want to form on her lips, but she felt like she had to say something. I'm sorry I've been weird. She played with the ends of her hair, unsure of herself. You're not stupid, you know. I am hiding something, but I don't want to worry you. It's just temporary, I swear. Just until things get a little easier on us and I can find another job. Lulu didn't say anything. Grace waited for a long time, but eventually the silence was too much to bear. Lulita? What is it that you're doing, Graciela? Grace pulled the blankets tight against her shoulders. I'm not working as a business person. I'm a dancer at the Foxden Gentlemen's Club. Gentlemen's Club? Doesn't that mean... Lulu's eyes widened. Oh, Gracie, no. It's not that bad, Lulu, I promise. Do you take off your clothes for money? Grace didn't say anything. Lulu threw a pillow at her. Then it's that bad, Grace. You couldn't even tell the family. How not bad could it possibly be? Please don't get angry. I hate it when you're angry. Lulu took several deep breaths. You're better than that, Grace. There are so many other things you could do with yourself. Did you even try? Of course I tried. I I applied to over 200 businesses in the area, Luisa. No one wanted me. And we have so much trouble with money, so much debt. What am I supposed to do? She threw the pillow back at her sister. No one is willing to give people like us a chance. So yeah, I'm doing exactly what everyone expected me to do. I'm a stripper, and I make more money in a night than most people make in a month. It isn't right, Graciela. You need to stop. I know it isn't right, but I won't stop. I'll do anything for this family, Lulu. For you, for Mama and Papa, the tios, Huelo. No one cares about us. No one is going to help us. So I'll do it myself. Mama and Papa don't want this. None of us do. Grace hid her face under the blanket. The house was so quiet. Crickets chirped outside the window, letting out a muffled racket that blended together into static white noise. The sisters sat on their beds, wide awake and miserable. I don't want any of this either. It's just the way it has to be. I refuse to believe that, Gracie. I know, Lulita. That's why I love you. The morning chatter of the birds didn't faze Grace in the least. Even the burn of the midday sun that filtered through the bedroom window did little more than make her stir. Sometime after noon, the loud clatter of pans and an angry shout from the kitchen drew Grace groggily out of bed. She shuffled out of her room and peeked into the kitchen where Lulu held Guadalupe's arm as the woman tried to brandish a frying pan like a sword. Guadalupe let out a cry of anguish when she saw her daughter. You liar! The frying pan strained in her hand as she attempted to swing it toward Grace while Lulu held her mother back. After everything we do for you, how could you do this to your family? Mama... Grace looked at her sister, but Lulu couldn't look her in the eye. I'm doing it to take care of us. So you become a whore? Who asked you to, Graciela? No one did. Guadalupe dropped the pan and struggled to get out of Lulu's grip. Mama, please. Lulu held fast, dragging her mother away from Grace. If we just talk to her. I spent her whole life talking to her. I broke my back to send her through school. I raised you, fed you, took you to church every Sunday. Now you throw it all away like everything I did meant nothing. Guadalupe swooned, then sat hard on the bench by the kitchen table. My Chiquita is a prostitute, she wailed, her face hidden in her hands. I'm not a prostitute. It's not the same. She glared at her sister, but Lulu still wouldn't look at her. Why did you tell her? You knew she'd react like this. They deserve to know where the money comes from, Graciela. She was perfectly happy not knowing. I am not a child! Guadalupe shook Lulu away. The bench slammed back as she stood and advanced toward Grace with a wagging finger. I am your mother. It isn't your job to protect me. It's my job to protect you. Grace shook her head. Won't let Papa die because of your pride. Guadalupe's face contorted angrily. Your Papa would rather die than see you live your life this way. You stop it. Stop it now, Graciela, or I swear. You swear what, Mama? You and Papa can't take care of yourselves without me. Grace wrapped her arms across her chest. Lulu shook her head and crossed the kitchen to place a hand on their mother's slack shoulder. A single tear ran down Guadalupe's face. Her lips quivered. Get out of this house, Graciela. You're not welcome here, if this is how you behave. She wiped the tears from her face with one shaking hand. Get out. Mama. Lulu's whisper was filled with reproach. If we just talk a little more, I'm sure... Grace took a step back. I'm done talking, Lulu. You can kick me out, Mama, but I'm still going to take care of this family whether you approve or not. She stopped into the bedroom. A duffel bag lay under a huge pile of clean clothes on Lulu's side of the room. Grace toppled the tower of clothes to get the bag, then emptied her dresser drawers into it. She stuffed everything she could into the main bag, then searched the bathroom for her most necessary toiletries to jam into the side pocket. With the bag slung over her shoulder, she stormed out of the front door of the house, past the iron front gate, and out into the streets. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Guns and Glitter. I hope you like the story so far. If this is your first time watching and you like what you heard, then make sure to go back and check out the story from the beginning. I'll post the link in the description. This is a continuing story, and I plan to share the entire thing with you on a weekly basis until the end. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button so you'll know when the next episode comes out. Till next time, see you later.